There is a moment every Shih Tzu owner remembers with surprising clarity, not because it is dramatic or loud, but because it arrives so gently that it almost sneaks into your heart. It's that quiet second when your little Shih Tzu waddles toward you carrying their most precious treasure, maybe a squeaky toy with one ear missing, maybe a stuffed animal they've dragged around since the day they arrived. Or sometimes even the half-chewed snack they were enjoying just a minute earlier, and they drop it right into your hand with this tiny burst of pride glowing in their eyes. They look up at you with a mix of excitement, hope, and something that feels very much like a child waiting for their mother's approval. And no matter how many times it happens, it has the same effect. Everything slows down, softens, warms. For humans, sharing is a polite gesture or a sign of affection. But in the world of dogs, sharing resources, food, toys, anything they value, is one of the strongest biological indicators of trust. A dog will only do it with three beings: with their mother, with members of their inner pack, or with the one they consider the safest place in their world. So when a Shih Tzu walks up to you and willingly offers something they treasure, they are telling you something bigger than words could ever say. You are my family. You are my comfort. You are the one I trust completely. I remember a tiny Shih Tzu puppy, barely 3 months old, who loved chicken-flavored treats more than anything. One afternoon, she bit her treat in half, trotted over, and placed the other half on my knee. Then she sat down, staring at me so intentionally I nearly laughed. She wasn't asking me to eat it. She wasn't bargaining. She was doing what her instincts told her to do, sharing something valuable with the one who made her feel safest. In dog behavior science, this mirrors how puppies present bits of food to their mothers, an expression of gratitude, bonding, and emotional connection. What's beautiful about this gesture is that Shih Tzus never do it for reward. They don't expect praise, treats, or a pet on the head. They simply want you to see the gift, to acknowledge the effort, the affection behind it, the emotion wrapped in their little act. And when you smile at them, or say something soft like, "Thank you, sweetheart," their entire body relaxes with contentment, as if they've just accomplished something important. Some people think Shih Tzus are delicate and clingy, but when you watch them present their treasures to you, you realize how strong they can be in their own way. Strong in loyalty, strong in love, strong in the quiet bravery it takes for a tiny dog to give away the things they cherish most. And perhaps, among all the ways a Shih Tzu shows love, this might be the purest one. The moment they say, without speaking, "What matters to me, I want to share with you, honey past." There's something deeply touching about the way a Shih Tzu seeks closeness. They're not the kind of dogs who launch themselves onto your chest or bark wildly for attention. Their affection arrives quietly, like a warm breeze that brushes past, without demanding anything. A Shih Tzu will walk up to you with those soft, deliberate steps. Press the side of their tiny body against your leg, or rest their head on your lap, with a weight so gentle, it feels more like a whisper than a touch. And somehow, that simple gesture speaks louder than any loud, dramatic display of love ever could. To a Shih Tzu, physical contact isn't random, it's instinct. In the canine world, leaning is a form of communication, a way of saying, "I trust you enough to give you my weight." Pack animals rest against each other for warmth, reassurance, and the unspoken comfort of knowing someone is there. When your Shih Tzu leans softly into you, They are reenacting the very first bond they knew in life, a puppy pressing into its mother's belly, listening to her heartbeat, feeling safe because she is close. It's a primal kind of intimacy, the kind that predates toys, treats, and even training. And the way they do it is so uniquely Shih Tzu. They don't demand, they request, they come quietly, almost shyly, as if checking whether your heart has enough space for their little body at that moment. Sometimes they rest their chin on your knee, letting all their weight fall into that tiny point of contact. Sometimes they curl up right against your hip, letting out a soft sigh that feels as if they've finally found the place where the world stops spinning. Sometimes they simply lay a paw on your arm, a paw no bigger than a cookie, hoping you'll understand that what they really want is to be held. I've always believed a Shih Tzu's hug is one of the purest forms of trust. Because they're small, fragile creatures, and choosing to place their whole body against yours is a decision rooted in deep emotional safety. They're saying, if I'm touching you, nothing can hurt me. And when you wrap your arm around them, or gently stroke their back, you're responding in the exact language. Their instincts understand the language of the pack, of family, of belonging. What makes it even more beautiful is how consistent this behavior is. A Shih Tzu that loves you will seek your touch, not out of habit, but out of need, a quiet need, a soft need, but a real one. They lean into you when they're content, when they're nervous, when they're sleepy, when they're lonely, and even when they're proud of something they just did and want you to notice. In their world, closeness is safety, and safety is love. And deep down, without realizing it, you become their anchor, their steady ground, their calm, their home. There's a particular tenderness in the way a Shih Tzu shows affection that catches you off guard. Even when you've lived with them for years, it's quiet, gentle, almost reverent, like a ritual they were born knowing, and have simply been waiting for the right person to perform it with. And nothing captures this better than the moment they begin to groom you. The first soft lick on your hand, the gentle nudge of their warm nose against your fingers, in the way they inch a little closer as if asking for permission to care for you, it's their way of saying, you are mine, and I love you in the only language I have. In the canine world, grooming is more than just cleanliness. It is bonding, connection, family. Puppies groom their mother. Mothers groom their young. Members of the same pack groom each other to strengthen trust and unity. So, when your Shih Tzu leans in and begins to lick your hand, or your wrist, or the side of your arm, they've claimed as their favorite spot. They aren't just being cute. They are pulling you into their inner circle, the place where love is soft, safe, and unquestioned. And what's beautiful about Shih Tzu grooming is how gentle it is. They don't attack you with frantic kisses. Instead, they choose their moments carefully, like when you've been gone too long, or when you look sad without meaning to, or when you're lying on the couch after a long day and your energy feels low. They approach with a kind of quiet certainty, as if they know exactly what they're doing. A slow lick, a little pause, another lick, a deep breath, and then that tiny sigh of contentment that says everything they feel but cannot speak. Sometimes they lick your fingers as if they're reading your day through touch alone. Sometimes they groom your sleeve or the back of your hand like they're smoothing out invisible worries. And sometimes they go straight for your face, pressing closer and closer until your forehead is resting against their soft fur. And for a moment, it feels like the world has fallen away. They groom you the way a pup tends to its mother carefully, instinctively, lovingly. What people rarely understand is that this behavior comes with vulnerability. A dog that licks you is lowering its guard, surrendering its space, offering a piece of its heart. Shih Tzus, especially, don't lick just anyone. Their affection is selective and strangely wise. They know who their person is, and they give themselves fully to that connection. Whether they are nervous, joyful, or simply craving closeness, grooming is how they anchor themselves to you, how they remind you, in their small but unwavering way, that you are theirs and they are yours. And perhaps the most touching part is this: Shih Tzus groom you not because they want something from you, but because they want to give something to you. A moment of comfort, a quiet reassurance, a tiny gesture that says, "Let me take care of you." Just a little. In that soft exchange, your hand still, their tongue gentle, the moment slow and peaceful, you feel something deeper than affection. You feel the bond of a tiny creature who sees you not as an owner, but as family, the kind of family that love grows around, the kind that love returns to, the kind that love never leaves. There's a quiet kind of devotion in a Shih Tzu that doesn't always reveal itself in grand gestures. It's not the dramatic tail-spinning excitement you see in some breeds, nor the obsessive eagerness to perform tricks for treats. With a Shih Tzu, the desire to please you moves differently, softer, deeper, like a gentle current beneath the surface of everything they do. It shows up in the way they watch your face when you speak, in how they tilt their head as if trying to understand every nuance of your voice, in the small choices they make throughout the day that say, more clearly than words ever could, "I want to make you happy." You notice it when you call their name and they come trotting over, not rushing, but with the steady confidence of a dog who knows exactly where they belong. You see it when you pat the couch and they climb up slowly, carefully, almost politely, as if they don't want to disturb you but still want to be near. And every time they settle next to you, they glance up with those big, earnest eyes that ask only one question: "Am I doing good?" It's a question that isn't desperate or needy. It's tender, hopeful, loving. Shih Tzus weren't bred to hunt, or herd, or guard. They were bred to be companions, small, gentle dogs who lived their lives close to the humans they adored. That history is woven into every fiber of their little bodies. Their instinct isn't to chase or protect. Their instinct is to connect, to listen, to understand you in ways you didn't even know were visible. And so, wanting to please you becomes as natural to them as breathing. You can feel it in the quiet moments most clearly. When you're tired and simply need a minute of peace, they sense it and soften their energy immediately, curling up beside you like a warm little cloud. When you're excited, they perk up with you, matching your joy with their tail, their eyes, their tiny bouncing steps. And when you're sad, truly sad, they move carefully, gently placing a paw on your hand, or pressing their head into your arm, offering themselves without expectation. It's the kind of comfort that doesn't try to fix anything. It simply sits with you, quietly, faithfully. Even the way they learn your routines comes from this desire to please. They memorize the sound of your footsteps, the rhythm of your day, the tone you use when you're proud, and the tone you use when something's wrong. They pick up on your habits when you wake up, when you rest, when you seem stressed, and adapt themselves like a little emotional mirror. And the moment they do something that makes you smile, they store it away like a treasure, repeating it again and again, because in their small, loyal heart, Your happiness is their reward. A Shih Tzu doesn't need praise to feel fulfilled. But when you give it when you say good job, or when you smile, or scratch behind their ears, you can almost see them glow. Their chest lifts a little, their eyes soften. Their body relaxes as if they've just accomplished something important, something meaningful. They please you because they love you, deeply and quietly and consistently. And maybe that's the most beautiful part. Their desire to make you happy isn't taught, it's given. A gift wrapped in fur and trust and a loyalty so simple and pure that it feels like a kind of grace. There is a particular silence that settles over a home when you step outside the door, a silence almost too large for a small dog to hold. And yet, your Shih Tzu feels every inch of it. For a creature so deeply woven into your routines, your scent, your voice, your presence. Being without you isn't just an empty moment. It's an ache. A soft, persistent ache that takes the shape of longing. And this is where separation anxiety begins, not as a problem, not as misbehavior, but as love struggling to sit quietly inside a tiny chest. A Shih Tzu doesn't understand time the way humans do. They don't know if you'll be gone for 5 minutes or 5 hours. What they do know is this: their world feels safest when you're in it. So the moment the door clicks closed, they go still, listening for the faintest sound of your return. They pad over to the door, sniffing at the seam, trying to catch your scent in the air that hasn't settled yet. Some of them sit there for a while, ears turned forward, body tense with hope. Others wander from room to room, searching for the parts of you that linger in the quiet corners you've just left behind. And then, once they realize you're truly gone, the house feels too big for them, too empty, too unfamiliar. That's why some Shih Tzus pace. Some whine under their breath like a whisper of worry. Some curl up in the spot where you last sat, pressing their body into the warmth you left behind, as if it might hold them together. They aren't trying to misbehave, they're trying not to fall apart. What makes a Shih Tzu's separation anxiety so touching is how deeply it reflects their emotional sensitivity. This is a breed that loves softly but completely. When they bond, they do it with their entire heart, without hesitation, without condition. So, the absence of the person they love most is not just noticed, it's felt deeply, quietly, and often in ways we don't realize until we see the way their eyes sparkle when we come home again. The reunion tells the whole story. The moment you step through the door, it's like a dam breaks inside them. Their tail moves so fast it becomes a blur. Their body wiggles from nose to tail as if the joy inside them is too big to stay still. They may bark, or whine, or bring you the first object they can find, as if presenting an offering for returning safely. And then comes that long, shaky breath when their body finally relaxes against yours. Like they've been holding that breath the entire time you were gone. To a Shih Tzu, your absence is a small storm. Your return is the sun coming back. And they feel both with an honesty most humans grow out of. But perhaps the most beautiful truth is this: they miss you, not because they are fragile, or spoiled, or overly attached. They miss you because you are home. Their constant, their comfort, their chosen person in a world too big for their little paws. And maybe, in some small way, knowing that gives the bond between you an even deeper softness, because every "I missed you" they show when you walk through the door is really their heart saying, "My world is whole again."